Cancer, thank you for joining me. This is your monthly horoscope for October 2016. It's really nice to be with you. Now, on the 1st of October, we've got the new moon happening, and that happens in Libra. It's amazing how this always ends up happening in your 4th house of family. It's amazing. So the new moon, I've made a separate video on this. It is in Libra, and it's a really positive time to set new intentions and to plant seeds, especially when it comes to improving your relationships with other people. And you, in this case, are really going to benefit from this when it comes to improving family relationships, because it does happen in your 4th house. So really spend 5 or 10 minutes during the new moon on the 1st of October, just sitting down and saying, what is it that I want to achieve in my family relationships? How can I make things better? Or how can I have more fun? Or how can I just improve the situation so that I'm happier? And then by the end of October, you'll really be surprised with how much progress you've made. So really take that time out to do it. It's really going to work massively in your favor. Now, on the 2nd, the moon is still in Libra. It's in your 4th house still, but it begins to oppose Uranus, which is in Aries in your 10th house. So you'll have to decide between work and family. There's a lot of drive and there's a lot of energy happening in your 10th house. So you really have the potential to do good things. You can actually balance these things, because on the 1st, during the new moon, you can really set those intentions and plant the seed and really put that in place so it grows over the next month period. So I think you can actually focus on work. There's no right or wrong here, depending on what your personal circumstances are. Whether you choose work or family on the 2nd of October, you'll have a good day in either area of your life. On the 3rd and 4th, the moon now moves into Scorpio, and it joins Venus, Black Moon Lilith, and your midheaven in Scorpio in your 5th house. So this is wonderful now. You will start to feel very comfortable engaging with a romantic partner, dealing with romantic feelings, focusing on what it is you truly desire, who you truly desire. And I get the sense that something hidden will become apparent to you in this area of your life. So John down the street won't just be John down the street anymore. He'll be the man you've always truly loved and you never even knew it. So something will kind of become unearthed within you. On the 5th of October, the moon in Sagittarius goes into your 6th house, and it conjuncts Saturn in Sagittarius. So the 5th of October now, you're focusing on something totally different. You're questioning what your day-to-day life is like now and what it's going to be like in future. So I really think you become future-oriented and you start questioning, well, what am I doing here? What am I going to do in my career? If there are any major things that appear to have all the answers for you on the 5th, be very wary of those, because it may be tricky. It may trick you into thinking something that's not actually quite right. Now, on the 6th of October, Mars and Pluto start to form a conjunction in your 7th house in Capricorn, and this is really significant because they stay conjunct from today, the 6th of October, through until the 28th of October. So this is something that's going to influence you for the duration of the month. Mars is desire, it's what you want. So that being in your 7th house, relationships really are going to be on the top of your to-do list, and they will be your priority. And Pluto is the planet of transformation and change. Both of them are in Capricorn, so you'll feel this energy in terms of, I want to put the work in, I want to make this happen. So transforming your family situation on the 1st of October with that new moon, now on the 6th of October through until the 28th, transforming all of your relationships, romantic, family, colleagues, friends, all of those relationships, and having this sense of, I want to work at making my relationships better. That's going to be a conscious thing. Yes, we don't have control over other people, but you certainly have control over how you treat other people and how much energy and effort you put into your relationships. So that is really exceptional for you this month. And when you put that work in, you'll see positive returns on it. On the 7th of October, the moon is now in Sagittarius. It begins to trine Uranus in your 10th. So again, where do you see your career going? Where do you see your day-to-day life going? Do you, in 20 years, do you still want to be working for the same company in the same place? You'll start to get ideas. This day, you can rely on the guidance much more than you could on the 5th of October. It's going to be much more concrete and clear. On the 8th, the moon is now in Capricorn, and it conjuncts Mars and Pluto. And this is the day when you feel most at ease in yourself when it comes to working on relationships. The next day, the first quarter moon happens. This is when the moon is halfway to being a full moon. It's in Capricorn with Pluto and Mars there in your 7th. So an extension of the day before, a real sense of ease around working and making relationships better. But it's also square to your Sun, which is in Libra. So this effortless sense of building bridges and being positive and being able to connect with people, that comes into the mix. So this is a fabulous day to really make any relationship and take the tragic and make it magic. So you really have this ability of being an alchemist here, of really being able to transform your relationships to be much better than they have been. On the 10th, 11th and 12th, the moon goes into Aquarius and it sits in your 8th house, and you will really feel the need to do something to help other people who have supported you in your life and you want to give something back. So whether it's the desire to give a colleague, and remember, I'm not talking about what's happening to you so much this month, I'm talking about your desires very much. Like, you now have the desire on the 10th, 11th and 12th to do something nice for people you work with. So however you do that, whether you bring them flowers or give them a pat on the shoulder, whatever, that's going to be strong. And at the same time, you've got a T-square in the chart, which is an area of real motivation. It connects your South Node in Neptune in Pisces in your 9th with your North Node in Virgo in the 3rd, and then it comes together as a triangle with Saturn in your 6th. So you're going to be very clear on what your past experiences have been, especially when it comes to your everyday working life, what you do not want to repeat, and what you want the future to be like. And this is a day to put those concrete visions and ideas into practice. I do not want to be in this company for the next 20 years. I did not enjoy that, and I didn't enjoy the admin side of things, so now I'm going to present in this different company and I'm going to apply for that job. A real clicking into place when it comes to what is it that I want to be doing. Now on the 13th and 14th, we have got the moon in Pisces, and that is joining Neptune, South Node and Chiron up there in your 9th house. And it stays there for this 2-day period. So this is a wonderful time to walk down memory lane and to discover things that really happened and to learn the lessons from that. But it's also a great time to experience wonderful, magical, fantastical kind of events by going traveling. And if you go traveling on the 13th and 14th, it's very likely that you have some mystical experience. Like, I remember for my birthday last year, my friend Michelle and I, we went to St. Nerin's Glen in Cornwall, and we walked down to this waterfall, and it was just amazing. I felt the energy of Merlin and magic, and it was just glorious. And whatever you experience, and it should be something new, it should be something that you're aligned with anyway, like something you think you might enjoy. And when you do that, you'll really be filled with that sense of wonder, because Pisces is going to be swirling around you, filling everything with its own unique kind of magic. So do something on the 13th and 14th. On the 15th, the moon is in Aries. It conjuncts Uranus in Aries, and this is another great day to take action when it comes to your career. What I've now made decisions, what I want, I'm going to implement those, and I feel comfortable standing up for myself and saying this is what I want to be doing. The full moon happens the day after. This is the Hunter's moon. It's a full moon in Aries, and it happens in your 10th house of career. So Cancer, you're really blessed here in an area that is really opposite to the family sector, and it's really about what do I want for my working life, and I'll be able to take charge of that and go ahead with it. On the 17th and 18th, the moon is in Taurus in your 11th house, and on the 17th, it forms a grand trine in the chart in Earth. So you have great practical abilities when it comes to planning what the future is going to look like and looking at the details, and also changing relationships in a practical working set. So maybe it's that you meet, the producer who's going to put your new album together, or maybe it's the editor who's going to look over your script so you can actually sell it. On the 18th, the moon opposes Venus in the 6th. So it's kind of like, I'm quite happy with where things are, and I'm quite happy with where things are going. So can I just take a breather? 18th is a good day to just have a time out and to just relax and to let things settle into place. On the 19th, the moon now goes into Gemini, and it connects beautifully with Jupiter and the Sun in Libra in your 4th house. This is a beautiful day to communicate with family members and to feel a real sense of community. On the 20th, the moon now at the very end of Gemini, still connecting to the Sun, but rather than Jupiter now Mercury. This is a fab day to communicate and to put your message out there and across, and to reduce the potential to be misunderstood. It's a really good day to speak, to express yourself. On the 21st, Mars begins to square Uranus, and this again is one of those long-term aspects. It lasts until the 4th of November. Mars, as I said before, is desire. It sits in your 7th house there, and squaring Uranus in your 10th, this 3-week period, 2-week period, 2 weeks, is really, you hammer home this desire to make your work different. So whatever opportunity you've got, you're really going to be like a pit bull or like a dog with a bone, and you're really going to go for making your work fit what you want it to be. So you really have the potential here to really take charge of your working life. If you're self-employed, this is fabulous because you can really just do whatever it is you want. But if you're someone who's employed, you can really look at what the next step is and be ruthless and kind of step over bodies here and say, well, you know, this company isn't giving me what I want. They haven't nurtured me. I've been on the same salary for the last 5 years. I'm just going to ditch them now and go somewhere else. Somewhere where I will thrive and succeed. And it's that kind of ruthless thinking that you will embody, because it's all about you and your career. It's also the last quarter moon, so the moon squares the Sun and it's moving towards being a new moon again. So there's a sense of coming down now. The energy feels less frazzled, less fraught. And the Sun moves into Scorpio, so happy birthday, Scorpios. On the 22nd, and I meant that the Sun moving into Scorpio and the last quarter moon is on the 22nd. The thing I spoke about with Mars squaring Uranus, that's on the 21st. What also happens now on the 22nd is that Venus conjuncts Saturn, and that also lasts until the 4th of November. They sit in your 6th house, and again, it's a questioning of what is it that I love and how do I want to get there. So the big focus here is on the day-to-day routine, especially when it relates to work and how you can make that more effective and more pleasing to yourself. On the 23rd of October, the moon starts to trine Saturn and Venus, and it really connects now. This sense of planning, you really start to get excited about it. And you're like, oh my God, I can really see the light at the end of the tunnel. I can really see how I'm going to make more money in future. How I'm going to be more successful. Really put the work in before the 23rd by weighing things up and seeing what you can change. Because by the time the 23rd comes around, you will really have a very nice surprise and you'll really see what the future now holds. Like the world starts to respond to you and give something back. There's a lot of fire in the chart during this time of the month. On the 24th, also a lot of fire. So there's real opportunity for you to feel enthusiastic and fired up about what's to come. So that looks really promising to you. And it says to me that a lot of the things that you're working on during the month succeed and lead to something even bigger. On the 25th and 26th, the moon is in Virgo and it's on top of your North Node in Virgo in the 3rd, and the way you imagine things to be and the way you would like them to be, that starts to even out with the way you feel. So I think you've really molded your situation in a way that's pleasing to you, and I think these 2 days again are good to take stock and to feel very contented with what you've done so far. The 27th sees the moon in Virgo connecting to the rising sign in Capricorn. You feel like a workhorse, you identify yourself with work, and also there's a slight kind of soberness when it comes to your romantic relationships and even being able to evaluate what certain romantic relationships mean to you and what future you see yourself having in those relationships. So it is a good day to really make very clear, again, very unemotional decisions. On the 28th and the 29th, the moon conjunct Jupiter in Libra at the bottom of your chart. So this is a throwback to the beginning of the month during that new moon on the 1st, where there's lots of Libra in your 4th house. So these 2 days are very, very good for family relationships, to communicate, to have fun, to just enjoy each other's presence, and to really just enjoy other people's company. The 30th is interesting because we've got the second new moon of the month. This happens very rarely. When you have 2 full moons in a month, we call that a blue moon, and the expression once in a blue moon comes from that because it's so rare. 2 new moons in a month is called a black moon, and it has extra power when it comes to things like magic and the spiritual, because it's that darkness when spells are kind of planted and then they come to life. It's that kind of thinking. So this full moon, if you are Wicca, or if you're that way, Wiccan rather, if you're that way inclined, this is, traditionally known as one of the most powerful moons of the year. But if you're just a regular person, then the second new moon does have added weight as well, because it will mean that the things you plant as seeds during this new moon will really have extra power when they come to fruition. Scorpio, it's about the hidden things. It's about what you really care about, what you really want to kind of have control over even. And the new moon is in Scorpio. So Scorpio is intense. It's about what is it that I want to achieve? What is it that's really meaningful to me? And what is it that I truly care about and that I want to control in some way? So that's very kind of taboo almost, and it looks at the darker things of your personality, and it means that you get real about all of the things that are going on for you, even the sides of yourself that you don't like. Okay? So don't be afraid of that. I mean, I'm making it sound quite sinister, but it isn't really. Like, let's say you've got a new moon in Scorpio and you say, okay, I really want to put myself in a position of more power where I can really be in charge and influence other people. That may seem like not everyone's going to be comfortable with that, but that's the kind of Scorpio thing, what it's about. It's about identifying your own power and your own ability to take charge and control. And yeah, I mean, we do need to control things. If you're a parent, you need to control your kids so they grow up having values. So it's not always sinister, but it allows you to focus on what you really want to get under control in your life. Finally, okay, I got there in the end. Finally, Halloween, 31st of the month, we've got the moon and black moon Lilith coming together in Scorpio in the 5th. Really great as well. This is like, what are my desires when it comes to love and romance and sex? So Cancer is going to get a bit freaky, I think, this month, and really look at the kind of taboo things that you've always wanted to do and stuff. So if you're a Cancer, romance, being with someone you love and care about, maybe even doing something for Halloween, going to a party or going for a night away, you'll really get a lot from it, and you'll have a lot of fun with it, and you'll get a lot of emotional response in a positive way. So that's what's coming up for you in October. I hope it gives you some ideas of what you'll be working with. If you'd like a private reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab and you can order your reading with me there. Please remember to subscribe, and I'll speak to you next month.